What is up, everybody? It is Pete Manzanelli, and right now I am joined by a truly prestigious guest, okay? He's the father of the most beautiful beast in the world. He's the CEO of Gender Labs LLC. He's the president of the Lord Aldrich and Lord Hinky fan clubs. He's the host of the Swallow Cast and the co-host of the DFS Edges and Three Donkeys pod. He's a man on Team Smell the Roses and Team Skin the Fur. He's a man who ate shrimp lo mein on Thanksgiving. He's the last place finisher in the inaugural Broathalon. And I believe now with this guest appearance on my world famous YouTube program, he is the leading guest. Welcome to the pod, Adam Levitanz.
Listen, you're the big star here, Manz. I see you. I go to my local casino. I see you there. You're not only playing. Actually, you're not playing at all. You are commentating. You're on a national television show, Poker Night in America. I see you in Vegas in this suite. Like taking baths of champagne on some other company's dime. Like, I don't even know who you are anymore.
I know, dude. I know things. Do you know it's been 1 year since you hopped onto this program and we broke down my week 16 lineup from last year. Do you remember that?
I don't, but I do want to take full credit for Manz's career.
No, dude. No, what I'm doing, I'm going to take credit. I broke down my lineup, and you know what? You made fun of me for my lineup. Do you know who was in that lineup that we made fun of? I played Jimmy Garoppolo at 0.00%, backing up Tom Brady. Jimmy Garoppolo is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game now, so who gets the last laugh?
Oh, and that lineup also had, like, Aaron Ripkowski, right?
Aaron Ripkowski's, and tell me this, Tommy Bohannon just scored 2 touchdowns this past week. I was on top of playing fullbacks in GPPs before it was even cool. Everyone's jamming in Tommy Bohannon this week now.
How many fullbacks can we fit in our roster this week? 3?
Dude, we can jam them in until DraftKings adds a fullback-specific slot. It's only 3.
A fullback-specific slot. That would be awesome. That would have been like John Kuhn would have been like must play back in the day.
Dude, you got to use your clout over at DraftKings and get these things in action.
Oh my God, I have beyond negative clout.
No, dude. Speaking of clout, dude, you might have seen this, dude, but I want my name changed on DraftKings so bad, and I have tried so many times, and they will not let me. What is the deal with this, dude?
I have no idea, but I assume they don't want people with multiple screen names because, like, let's say that you are, I don't know, CSU Ram 88. You want people to know that they're playing CSU Ram 88. You don't want them to have a bunch of different screen names so that they can sneak around. You know what I mean? So they don't want the man sneaking around.
Dude, and that's the hilarious thing. I'm trying to change my name to the Manz. I have some ridiculous old name. I'm trying to be more transparent. I'm trying to let people know that they're about to get bent over in a head-to-head, and they won't let me be transparent in this way.
Have you made this argument to them?
Dude, I have made the argument in DMs, in emails, in tweets, dude. They are...
Well, they quite frankly, they probably don't know who the Manz is.
Are you kidding me? I'm shilling for their company right now. I have put DraftKings on the map this season. My Man's GPP regularly gets 35 people in it. Like, what the hell?
Honestly, like, speaking totally truthfully, like, setting up leagues like that and promoting them is massive because once people start making lineups, then they're not just playing in the ManzMaker, they're putting that lineup into other things. So it's really good for DraftKings for sure. You should make that point as well.
I will, dude. I'm going to clip this up. I'm going to spin it into a compelling case. Everybody out there on Twitter, make sure to write DK assist on Twitter or support or whatever. Let them know the Manz wants to change his username. But I want to circle back to something because you mentioned that I bumped into you at the Sugar Houses Casino in Philadelphia a month or so ago, or a couple months. And it was at that tournament that you had a very infamous dinner with Johnny Bales and Brandon Adams, who's also going to be in Tommy Dwan's bachelor party with me. And a little prop bet came out of that dinner. You thought you guys were just going to get steaks, have a nice little Merlot. But no, you were on the hook for a bet that just took place in Miami this past weekend. Set the stage for that dinner, what went down there, and what transpired over the past few months.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon is like intensely intimidating and so good at everything, even though I knew that me and Bales were probably making a bad bet by agreeing to race him in a mile when he had all the information. He knew about our times. He knew about our race in Orlando the previous year. Even though I knew all that, I still thought it'd be fun to do the race and motivate me to stay in shape during football season, which I almost never do. So to that end, it was a success. In terms of the actual race, it was an utter humiliation. I have no excuse. I mean, BA is just better than me at everything. He's better than me in poker, better than me at DFS, better than me in tennis, although I would like to get a 6-0-6-0 bet against him, which we've talked about a little bit. I do want to get that double bagel bet against him. But yeah, better than me in running, certainly better looking, taller, tanner. So I just can't win. No excuses.
Dude, I will tell you on that Periscope live stream, and you guys can go check that out on, I believe it's on CSU Rammy's Periscope. Dude, Brandon Adams looked like a gazelle out there, dude. He looked like an Olympian. I was just like, who is it? It was like looking in the mirror. I was like, this is a beautiful man with like strides. I was like, this dude is out of control, dude. And people forget, dude, he was a Harvard adjunct professor. Like, this is a Renaissance man, dude.
It's actually scary, yeah. And I certainly like him being so tall, a long stride. Like I was taking 2 steps for every one of his steps, which is certainly an advantage. But people who like just watch the race, you don't understand how hard it is to do what he did. You know, we did like a 2:45, 800, which is pretty fast. And then all of a sudden he just steps on the gas and starts like sprinting. If you've never tried to do that, like go try to run an 800 and then start sprinting, you might die. So yeah, I would say it was an impressive performance from him and just pure shame for me.
What do you think? Who do you like in a beer mile, me or Brandon Adams, dude?
I feel like Brandon would be drinking wine in a beer mile. How much wine does he have to drink for each beer that you drink?
An entire carafe.
No, I don't know, man. Like chugging the 4 beers, I don't know. That's a huge disadvantage. But yeah, running a 5:30 mile. What do you think your best possible mile is without drinking?
Well, I'll tell you because I know, because I was actually running the mile when I was training for the Broathalon, and my fastest mile was 6:05 when I was training for it. And then the Broathalon, dude, I have so many demons from that day. I don't know if I'm ever going to recover. Let's circle back though real quick to, can we talk about your compadre, Johnny Bales, not even finishing the race? This guy has so much heart when we're doing the Broathalon. I thought this guy was an athlete. He inspired people. And then I see him just out here quit. Like what the hell happened there?
Too rich, too rich. A big thing with these prop bets is you have to bet enough to keep yourself motivated. And like in between the time we made the bet and the time where we actually ran, like Bitcoin went up like 3x, Bell's in a lot of altcoins that are like 3xing and like 10xing in a day. So the kid's just too rich. We had a side bet. That's the reason I finished. The main reason I finished was because I thought I had to at least finish to win the side bet. So I didn't want any controversy there. So I finished. But he didn't even feel willing to run me down for the side bet. So yeah, super weak.
This is, dude, so what I'm hearing is Bales needs to start doing prop bets with Satoshi Nakamoto's, Roger Vere's, Mr. Armstrong's from Coinbase. One of these true heavy hitters, then he'll really feel it, dude. When we're talking Titcoin, IOTA, TTYL, BRBs, you know, that's when Bales will really feel it. And then we can see this guy perform at the height of his powers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. You know, you have to bet with people that are on your same level. So yeah, he needs to find Satoshi. That's the bottom line.
Tell us, other than Miami, I know you left before the live final. You had to get back and rub yourself all naked over your dog. But what was it fun down there? Did you do skin the fur with Candia? I think both of you could have had your shirts off and kind of just like rubbed up against each other.
Candia is jacked. I don't know if you saw him. He was not in Miami, but he posted a picture on Twitter. He quit DFS to focus on lifting and like bodybuilding. Dude is jacked. Sent a proxy in his place. So yeah, did not see Candia, but yeah, man. I mean, Miami, South Beach isn't necessarily my scene. Seems like more of a Manz type scene, but the weather is beautiful. Pool was great. Beach was great. It's just great being in Florida in December when it's so like awful up here in the Northeast. Just going down there is like makes me want to move to Del Boca Vista Phase 3 or something like that.
Dude, that's what I'm talking. It's funny you say Kandia had to, quit DFS to focus on lifting, dude. Why is it so hard for all of you guys to not just do it all? Like, I just crushed poker, I crushed DFS, I crushed the gym, dude. I crushed the ladies, I crushed the Bitcoin, dude. It's like, do you guys not know how to juggle all of these interests? It's like, what? Why can't you guys focus on more than one thing?
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for having a sole focus, like giving yourself completely to one thing. I totally get it. I agree with you that I would like to live a more balanced life, but for some people, I think to be actually truly elite, focusing on one thing can probably actually help them.
That's true. It's true. I also want to just say what's up to the chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those in there. I see you, Thomas O'Toole's, Nathan Burks, John Brodas, Ricky Barachiara. Did I get your last name right this time? But speaking about being Renaissance men, having outside interest, dude, I tuned into your this podcast you do with CSU Rammies, Johnny I Quit the Race Bailsies, and I thought I was tuning in to hear you guys talk about high stakes gambling, talk about banging chicks. All of a sudden, you guys are pondering extraterrestrials and life questions. I'm like, did I just turn into Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson's, or am I listening to the Three Donkeys? What's going on with this podcast, dude?
Well, there's not enough to talk about. We're running out of topics. I mean, how much can we talk about Bitcoin and DFS and, betting on sports and stuff like that? Like everybody says, everybody wants to gamble for a living, but it's actually way more boring than I think people realize. So yeah, we're running out of topics, man.
Dude, if I tune in another time and I hear Peter Jennings say he's bullish on, self-driving cars, dude, I'm going to punch a hole through it. I need to know, like, I need the high stakes stories, dude. I need Bales talking about all the Tinder puss he's slaying, dude. Like, I need this stuff, not is there a God?
Yo, did you know I found out in Miami that you can actually be a couple on Tinder? Like I've never really been on Tinder, but if you're swiping through Tinder, sometimes you find a couple and it's crazy, man. Like,
are you proposing something with me?
I didn't know this, but it's wild out there. I'm actually kind of pissed that I missed this whole digital age of sexual interactions. I would have been way better than talking to chicks.
That's true, dude. No, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. You've heard of these throuples, dude? There was groupers. Those were the dates where you go out like 4v4 and like it was supposed to be platonic, but then they just ended in giant orgies, dude. Like this stuff happens.
Yeah, it's absurd. Not that, I feel like I may not have partaken anyways, but I would have had a way better shot than I did just being petrified of going up to girls and stuff like that when I was growing up.
Well, speaking of like wild, like free love, free sex stuff, I want to talk to you about this business venture of yours, Gender Labs. What I realize is you're actually promoting unprotected sex, dude. Did you know that? You're willingly telling people to have sex without condoms. Are you prepared to cross?
Our clients at Gender Labs are almost exclusively married and interested in having children and interested in procreating.
What happens when the high school generation stumbles across this site and they're all worried about their ADOT, all the kids are knocked up at school, and then you're the face of unprotected sex?
No, we do not condone any type of sex with the intention of procreation that is not amongst married people. We would not take on any clients that weren't married or at least old enough to understand what they're getting into, because procreation, as you may have heard on my podcast, is a scary thing and can be a depressing, overwhelming thing and financially impactful thing. So we take our procreation very seriously.
Dude, I get worried about you because I have heard you talk about how you got depressed when you had a newborn, and I believe I'm not breaking any news. You got another newborn here on the way, dude. How are we going to keep you not depressed, keep you out here positive, dude?
Paying other people. That's really what I've learned. When you don't want to do something, when I don't want to do something, I'm not going to feel bad and be like, oh, I got to be there to change that diaper. And then not this time. This time I am paying someone else to do it. Babysitter, nanny, baby nurse. If you are in the childcare business, I likely have a job for you in the next year if you're in the Philadelphia region.
All right, there you have it, dude. This guy is a job creator, trickle down economics in Philadelphia's. He is going to create jobs and make DFS, make Philadelphia's great again. Get after him. You want to walk his dog? Will you allow people to rub themselves naked all over Jerry?
Jerry wouldn't let that. Actually, if people got to know Jerry or had interactions with Jerry, she's petrified of strangers. And that's how I know that me and her have true love, because the only one that she actually lets do skin to fur with, the only one that she actually lets, walk her, take care of her is me. So everybody else doesn't get the same kind of love, and that's how you know it's true.
Very, very true. Oh, we actually did have a Jerry-related question that came in on Twitter. Eric McClung's friend of the show asked, what does Jerry get for Christmas?
I actually got her a new dog bed. She's had the same one for a while that she sleeps in a lot of the nights when she's not sleeping in bed with me. And yeah, so I got her a freshie. You got to be fresh. She's had this one for a long time, so it was time.
Did everybody in this household get a new bed? The little guy got a race car bed. Jerry got a new bed. Did you get a new bed?
No, but I want one. I want like a super hard bed. My back is killing me, so I think hard beds are the way to go. What kind of bed do you sleep on, Manz?
Dude, I got one of those sick-ass water beds, dude. I mean, you get like 6 ladies in there. You guys are all rolling around, feeling the ebb and flow, the buoyancy, dude. It really gets the magic going.
The heart-shaped water bed.
Dude, what happens is you get some of those hard beds sometimes, though, and you get the mattress, and then you get like the little dips in them and stuff. I don't know about those, dude. Sometimes you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Okay. Let's, people tune into this program because every week I give them picks that help them win millions and millions of dollars playing DFS. Have you had a chance to look at the slate at all? Do you have any thoughts percolating? Any guys you're quickly jamming into your cash game lineup early in the week, or are you still kind of too early in?
Yeah, it's pretty early for me. I'm still looking back at last week. Haven't taken a long look at all at this week's salaries. I did look at a couple matchups. Always want to be targeting wide receivers against the Panthers these days, and Mike Evans' price has certainly dropped to a interesting number. So I think that's interesting. We could see Chris Godwin get a big role if Deshaun Jackson can't play, so that would be interesting to me as well. But I don't know, man. What are you seeing?
Dude, I like the Mike Evans call. He did have a couple of big plays in that game taken away on pass interference calls, but he was getting the deep balls downfield. He did seem like he was due for some touchdown regressions there after a very slow stretch. I like that. I kind of like the Chargers, dude. I know Hunter Henry is out, but I like Gates is super cheap, dude. 2,500. I believe you would. What, dude? Are you gonna? Oh, you're gonna do your young guy thing, aren't you? That's what's going on.
Man's Antonio Gates literally can't move.
Dude, stone minimum. Dude, do you know the dirty kind of things you can do with a lineup when you plug a stone minimum guy in there?
Yeah, I get it, but he has like 0.0% chance at 20 points.
Dude, let me give you another play from that game I like if you don't want Gates. I like Tyrell the Gazelle. Not to go full Al Smizzle on you, dude, but this is my thought with the Gazelle. 2 weeks ago, he had that big game against Washington, right? But it was only on like 4 targets. He had 3 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown. This past week, his targets go up. He had 7 targets, okay? But he didn't have, any production. It was only 30 yards. But you're telling me his targets are going up. You're taking Hunter Henry out of the equation. You got Keenan Allen banged up, and now they're playing a Jets defense. God, I am such a good tout. Let me just finish this thought. You're playing a Jets defense that gives up these big, deep play balls. People are down on the Chargers after their dud last week. It's all coming together for Tyrell the Gazelles. What do you think?
I got a question for you. Are there like random people on YouTube that think that like they use Google, they use YouTube as like a search engine, and they are actually looking for advice on DK, and they find this, and then they like see you and they like get upset? Is that that must happen a lot, because YouTube is like a place where people go, I feel like, to like search for actual information. I
feel like you're insinuating that I don't give actual information. Is that what
I'm not saying you don't, but I'm saying, are people like stumble on the program and get confused as to what they're seeing?
I mean, people don't get confused when they turn on a program and they see just like an alpha male crusher. Like, that's not confusing. But I will say, I did in the off season, I did a how to crush WNBA. I did a how to crush NASCAR DFS. And I will get DMs and PMs from people being like, dude, can you give me some WNBA picks for today? And I'm like, no, dude, you got to drive to Prim to get that good stuff, dude. But yeah, so people get confused. I think it goes back to that thing of me being such a Renaissance man. They're like, are you a poker guy? Are you a DFS guy? Now they see me talking a little bit about some Satoshi Nakamoto's. They're like, whoa, this dude was in on Bitcoin in 2004, like before it was even envisioned. So like they just don't know what to think of me, but they do know that when they come, they get the truth. They get well-reasoned analysis. Tell me that breakdown of the Jets and Chargers situation wasn't like.
Yeah, so Tyrell's been playing a ton all year. I think that he's been underutilized to some degree. I'm not sure how much Hunter Henry being out changes that. Keenan Allen did get a full practice in today. Actually wasn't even listed on the injury report, which was surprising to me. So yeah, I would consider Tyrell at least somewhat of a play. It's certainly going to be low floor based on what we've seen for the first, 14 weeks where he plays a ton and doesn't necessarily get a lot of looks from Phillip.
Okay. All right. So do you have it's now time for the hit segment in my show, stacks on stacks on stacks. You clearly don't want to do a Rivers the Gate stack. Do you have a preferred Levitanz stack this early?
Why don't you go first and I'll find one here.
Okay. Well, I already discussed my first one there, Tyrell's and Rivers. Another stack. Do we just go back to Brady Gronk? We might just have to go back to Brady Gronk. Gronk is the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he was out one of them, but the 3 weeks, dude, he's averaging, 25 PPR points a game. Buffalo, we can't forget the narrative street. I know he's not returning home to Buffalo, but he grew up there. So every time he sees those jerseys, he has these flashbacks to his home. And he's like, he remembers eating like mac and cheese after school, and it like floods him with like emotions. And then he just Gronk spikes harder. So like we do have that narrative going on. So I do like the Pats. But now I have vamped and I've given you time to pull up your fantasy labs, and now you're going to tell us a stack.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jared Goff and Robert Woods. I don't like that this game is on the road in Tennessee, who has been known to slow games down, and I think their defense maybe is a little better than people realize. But if you are going to beat Tennessee's defense, it will almost certainly be through the air. I mean, this has turned into a major funnel defense where they're extremely strong against the run and struggle against the pass. And Robert Woods is like, I mean, Goff and Robert Woods have some serious chemistry going on to the point where Robert Woods comes right back off the injury list and gets a 33% target share right away. So I think Robert Woods is #good, and I probably didn't give him enough credit early in the year, which hurt me, but this is certainly a nice spot for him.
I like it. Yeah, you talk about that chemistry between those two. You think Jared Goff, Robert Woods doing a little skin the fur, dude? You're a big fan of the shower narrative too, dude. If these guys hitting the showers together, who knows what kind of chemistry could happen.
Exactly. The shower narrative was took a big hit in the George Kittle situation, but I still stand by it. I still think that if you've showered with a man previously to joining him in the NFL, that has to mean something. Has to. Fantasy Labs needs to add a tab to that into their projection model. It can just be binary 0 or 1.
It might have to involve you guys get one of these interns or something that just is calling up every team and just kind of asking like, yo, who's showering with who these days? We do have a question in the chat from Brandon Deluskis. Y'all think Seattle shows up against – I'm just going to read it like that because it starts with y'all. Y'all think Seattle shows up against Dallas and there's a shootout in Jerry World? That's from Brandon. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually already bet the Seahawks when the line went to 5. It opened 3, which I thought was a fair line. And then when it got to 5, just an overreaction to how poorly Seattle played last week. So, yeah, I do think Seattle will bounce back and play well. Like nobody plays as bad as they played last week and then doesn't get it together the next week when you're a good team. So, yeah, I think Seattle will show up and play well. And yeah, they're going to get some pieces back too. Like I know Zeke is back for Dallas, but Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright look like they'll be healthier for the Seahawks. So I don't know about shootout, but I do think that Seattle's going to play better.
There you have it, Brandon. Bounce back spot for Seattle's. Nick Wonder has a question. I almost wonder if he's wondering this. Manz, is it frustrating to have to host people that are worse than you at everything? Well, Nick, I wouldn't phrase it that way. it's kind of just an inherent thing, and whoever I talk to, whoever I encounter in life is always going to be inferior. So I try to bring tact to those situations. I try to make sure that I'm not being too condescending. I try to highlight the strengths of my guests. Like Levitanz, this guy, he's a DFS crusher, dude. No one's on top of more news than him. This guy, he's very humble. He doesn't talk about his big score he had on Poker Night in Americas. He won a tournament. So I can prop this guy up all day. He is a legend in the industry. He has 6 million Twitter followers. So, you know, look, I can go spin zone on any of these things, but it's a great question. It is something I have to deal with and try to remain humble. So thank you, Nick, for that question. Adam, any comments on that?
I'm curious, what's your most viewed video ever on YouTube? Is it the Broathalon?
No, my most viewed is my my inaugural poker journey at the Excaliburs in Las Vegas, which I will be returning to the 1-year anniversary. I believe it's like January 11th or 12th. I will be at the Excaliburs. Come out if you want to play poker. I heard they switched up where they put the poker room in the Excaliburs, Adam. It used to be, you know, kind of over by the slots, adjacent to the sports book, and now they moved it over to this bar area. They didn't consult me. This is crazy, dude. This would be if, like, I don't know, UNC Chapel Hill like moved their stadium without consulting Michael Jordan. You know what I mean?
Wait, you're going back to Vegas? This is out of control. You have to get like an apartment out there.
Dude, I go 3 times in the year now, okay? I basically live out there, but I do go divisional weekend. I go for the World Series of Poker. I go for high stakes drafts in September, dude. Vegas loves me, and the Manz loves Vegas.
Yeah, those vlogs, man, those poker vlogs are crushing. I guess like maybe you got it up in one of like those like Andrew Nemi or Doug Polk like sidebars, and now you got a bunch of people on your poker vlog, huh?
Yeah, dude, Andrew Nemi's on that poker vlog all the time. This guy's got his drone footage out there. The guy's like, sometimes I think he's trying to get an Oscar and not actually trying to like play poker, dude. I'm like, dude, that was a 14-hour time lapse, dude. Like, are you trying to play poker or are you trying to be Paul Thomas Anderson, dude? So I don't know what these guys are doing, but yeah, man, these poker vlogs, people love to see the grind. Dude, why aren't there DFS vlogs, Adam? Imagine if you gave 24/7 access to you updating your projections at your computer. People would be enraptured.
Yeah, that would be riveting. Let me tell you, my day would be absolutely riveting. But I do think that there is space on YouTube for some type of, in addition to the Manz, to more DFS content besides just, you know, the standard people putting their shows up there and stuff. I mean, YouTube is massive. I'm certainly intrigued by YouTube.
Excellent. Okay, we do have, I don't want to keep him too more long. We're just gonna do a few more minutes, but before we get to any other final questions, I do have to propose my weekly ritual, the 69 challenge. Are you familiar with the 69 challenge?
This is where like I have to use 2 less players than you or something, or you use 2 less players than me?
Okay, Adam. Oh my goodness. On the site DraftKings, of which you are a contractor for, there's 9 spots on their platform. I am going to throw out my 3 worst scores. So I have 6 to your 9, hence the 69 challenge. So all you're doing is playing me, and I have my hand tied behind my proverbial back, okay? If you beat me, which won't happen, then I will go on Twitter. I will sing your praises. I will say, like, check out his projections at Fantasy Labs. If I beat you, like I did your colleague, your compadre, your homie, CSU Rammies, you have to go out on Twitter and tell the world I'm the greatest DFS player of our generation. Do you accept these terms?
So you don't have to decide which 3 players you're throwing out before. So you put out your best lineup and then you throw out your 3
worst scores.
So but that could be.
No matter what, I can only play 6 scores against you.
So obviously the strategy for you should just be to completely punt with 3 total minimum salary guys, take those, and then just absolutely load up at the other positions.
You would think that would be the strategy. It took me a while to kind of realize that, but I mixed it match. Dude, I don't care whatever way you slice it. If you want the 6 side, I will give you the 6 side. You want to be the first ever guest to have the 6 side? No,
I don't want the 6 side. The terms are accepted.
I don't. You're so used to getting hustled in prop bets. You got your guard up.
I know. I need to win one. I'm on a streak of losing prop bets bad here. So yeah, I need to win one. I don't want to like sing your praises on Twitter though. I'd rather do something funnier.
Okay. What do you want? What do you want to do?
I don't know.
All right. I will. Let's see. Okay. Oh, we'll think of something.
I'll give you a free ADOP consultation.
Okay. Yeah. Don't be a perv, dude, trying to get in on what me and Mrs. Manz and our Tinder threesomes have going on, dude. Let's see. What do we got? We're gonna wrap up here. We do need to really quick talk cryptos, dude. Shit's crazy. I just want to let everybody know football season's winding down. I have a few crypto videos on tap. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you guys all how to make billions of dollars. First of all, buy IOTA and Bitcoin Cash and keep it on an exchange. That's my first tip I'm giving to you right now. But we will get to more of that, dude. Where are you at crypto? I hear you kind of vaguely referencing that you got peer pressured into buying crypto. It didn't seem like you really were stoked on it.
Yeah, in May was the first time that I bought it. I was somewhat intrigued, but I didn't really understand it. It just, I knew like people I had a ton of respect for and thought were super sharp were extremely adamant that it needed to be bought and it was going to change the world, going to change money and everything. So yeah, I just bought a little bit in May and then I started reading more about it, bought, a little bit more along the way here. I'm by far no expert whatsoever. It's funny to me though, like there's so many like Bitcoin and crypto haters out there. They're like, oh, it's a bubble. It's going to pop. I'm going to tell you all these reasons why. And like in the time that they were like formulating their argument, they could have like 3x'd and sold. Like just because something's going to pop, just if you think it's a bubble, it doesn't mean that you still can't make money because you're allowed to sell, right? Like I've sold some, like people are already up a ton. So even if it pops, even if Bitcoin goes to zero tomorrow, a ton of people have already made a ton of money. And all these losers that have been like, oh, Bitcoin's a joke, while they were arguing about this, that's sick actually. While they were arguing about this, they could have like 3x'd already or whatever, 4x or more. So it's just crazy.
I completely agree, dude. You hear these guys talking about the comparing it to the tulip mania. You ever hear that thrown around?
Of course, yeah.
Why do these have to be mutually exclusive, dude? I went out and bought 2,000 tulips. I have those in my basement. I'm sitting on tulips and Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, guys. Buy the tulips, okay? Like, yeah, it's mania, dude, but you can have your cake and eat your tulips too, dude.
Yeah, the tulip thing is so absurd. Like all these like stiffs on Wall Street, every time that they want to talk to me about Bitcoin, the first thing they want to talk about is tulips. I'm just like, don't come here with your goddamn tulips.
Adam's giving the Dikembe Mutombo to the tulip. Get that out of my house. Dude, all right. We will wrap up here with one final question. Broathalon 2.0.
Oh,
is it going down?
Dude. First of all, the draft isn't even in Philly this year. It's in freaking Dallas.
I know, dude. That really upset me. Philly was a great spot for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Broathalon, we would need different events. Those events don't suit my skill sets. I play basketball. I play tennis. I think I'm reasonably athletic, but not in like football type stuff. I was a disaster, and I hate drinking. So besides that, it was a good event for me.
Besides all of the competitions and the parameters of which they were played, it was a terrific event. Okay, we'll figure something out. If you're gonna, I hear you waging a war on alcohol on your podcast and stuff, dude. Makes me realize I need to top off my eggnog with a little more Bailey's here. But I just want to say, Adam Levitanz, thank you for coming on the show. As I said earlier, I believe you are the most recurring guest at this point in the show's historic run of this show. As we've run it up from 0 to 1 million subscribers, you have been a big part of that, Adam Levitanz. So thank you so much, my friend.
It's an honor, and I'll see you soon. Likely before you know it, everywhere I go, the Manz is there. So I'll see you soon.
That's right, dude. All right, have a good one. We will see everyone later. Oh, by the way, we do have the Manz GP Pete for the week up. The link is down in the show notes. This is the final one for all the peoples. Adam Levitanz, I saw you are in this week's Manz GP Pete, right?
Yeah, when I see the notification and I'm at my computer, I always get in it. I'm pretty sure I've bricked out completely, so you guys have a bunch of my money.
That's right, dude. That's right. The Manz fans are cleaning up. But yeah, hop in that. And as I said, anyone who won one of the Man's GP Pete's, I'm going to do a free roll for you guys next week. It'll involve some cash, some prizes. So this is your last chance. It's like a qualifier, dude. It's like a live final. You get in. Dude, that's what I should host a Man's live final. I'll think about that. Okay. All right. I appreciate you for coming on. For Adam Levitanz, for the father of the most beautiful beast in the world, I am Pete Manzanelli. Get paid. Get laid.